Alright, so this is just some kind of little bonus thing that you can do. Just so those of you that choose to do it, you'll probably notice it's a lot easier once you understand the negative exponent rule with your quotient rule. So remember how I told you for your quotient rule, you're going to have to take the biggest number, subtract it from the smaller one, and then you had to determine, are you writing it at the top or the bottom? So the only reason I did it that way was because you hadn't learned your negative exponent. So looking at this one here, 2 to the third power divided by 2 to the fifth, all I'm going to ask myself here is, I'm going to write it as 2 to the third power minus 5. That's going to give me 2 to the negative 2 power. But as by now, you should know your negative exponent, which will actually give you the reciprocal as 1 over 2 to the second power. And this problem I already gave to you earlier. I think it's on your quotient rule worksheet. So you can actually check, you get the exact same answer. Once you understand the rule, it's a lot faster. So now for this one, you get x to the 6th power minus 10. And then from there, because you're left with a negative number, but you have to do the reciprocal. So again, check your answer, and it's the same answer as you had before. For this one, 4 to the second power divided by 4 to the third power. Because those two are the ones that have the same base, you're going to do 2 minus 3. And then the other one is, let me rewrite it because I don't have room. So you would have 4 to the second power minus 3. And then y to the 8th power minus 2. Now, this is going to give me y to the negative 1, 4 to the positive 6 to the power of 6. Because I need to do the reciprocal, I'm going to rewrite it as y over 6 and 4 to the first power. Again, it's the same answer. If you want to stick to doing, the 3's bigger, I'm going to rewrite it at the bottom. That's fine. You're going to get the same thing. Now, for this one, I'm going to get 6 to the third power minus 7, k to the 15th power minus 19. Once I subtract that, that's going to give me 6 to the negative 4 and k to the negative 4. But again, you have to write it as a reciprocal. So this is your answer. Okay? So it'll make a little bit more sense once you get the negative power rule, all of that, the quotient. Because later on, I'm just going to go through it quickly. Now, for this one, you have 12 to the second power and 12 to the first power. So I'm left with 12 to the second minus 1. I'm left with y to the first power minus 1. I'm left with, not minus 1, minus 11. And then I'm left with z to the 7th power minus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm left with 12 to the first power, y to the negative 10, z to the third power. But again, I have to write the reciprocal for some of them. So 12 stays, z to the third power stays. The only thing that has to move is y to the negative 10 power and move to the bottom to make it positive. And then the last one, I'm going to change the color so it doesn't mix. Same thing, 4 to the first power and 4 to the first power. So that's just 1 minus 1. That gives me my 0 that I had talked about the other day. And then we're left with m to the 13th power minus 1, n to the 9th power minus 12, and p to the 9th power minus 18. I'm going to clean this up. This gives me 4 to the 0 power, m to the 12th power, n to the negative 3, and p to the negative 9. Again, rewrite this so that your reciprocal for each negative power. Now, 4 to the 0 power, that's just going to turn into a 1. So I'm going to be left with m to the 12th, n to the, and then n to the third power, and p to the 9th power. Again, it's the same answer as you had before. So this was just a quick little bonus so that you guys can kind of see what we were doing. We did this part on the worksheet without all of that. You were doing the whole bottom top. It was a denominator, numerator, all of that stuff. And that's fine. You can do that too. I find it faster to just do it this way because a lot of the math I'll just do in my head and I'll rewrite it if it's going to be my denominator or my numerator. But hope this helped. Again, it was just kind of like a little bonus thing. Check your answers. They should be the exact same answers as they were before. All right.